Alright, welcome to Doozer Shop. It's been a while. I got another update. I want to show you a little bit what I've been working on. So let's go handheld and show you around. Alright, got the workbench of stuff I've been working on. Quick update on, let's see here. I put some lamps on the K.R. Wilson press. These are from IKEA, and they're little gooseneck lamps, and it lights up the bolster area rather nicely. They were cheap, but they were cool, and they're, I can show you, they're like flexible gooseneck lamps. I need to probably make a more permanent mount, but you can see there's a cord and a switch, and I got them plugged in. But it just makes the press area so much nicer to work on, to see when you're pressing something in and whatever. So that's that. What else? I bought another torch head. I had one. They stopped making them. They're made by Tyco, Raychem. And I've seen one on eBay for like 18 bucks, so I bought another one. Just because electronic ignition, they light every time. Let's see. There's part of the boring head. Oh, the boring head. Okay. So those are the gears from the facing head. And I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I went on Practical Machinist. It is, oh, here's the Raychem torch. This is a really good torch head. Let me walk over here. I found out that this is made by Summit. I guess it's either Polish or Czech. Some people say Summit was a distributor, not a machine tool maker. I'm not sure, but I believe this is a Summit. Oh, quick, what I was doing. Where is it? All right, so this is where the gears go. Pull. This is the bushing. Don't know if this will show up on the camera. But what I did is I cut the head off a socket cap screw, a 1/2-inch American screw for the hex. Now that's a 3/8 Allen wrench will fit that. So what I did is I press fit just the head of a 1/2-inch cap screw in there, and that thing in the ball, the thing in the bottom is a ball oiler, because oil comes through here, it's hollow, and it oils the gears and the bushings and whatnot. So if that's going to focus, that's what that is. So that allows me to adjust the offset of the boring head with a 3/8 Allen wrench. And previously, the only way that that would work is if you spun one of those gears. So I'm going to make it manually adjustable, and I got that nice little oiling provision. Before it had a like a Zerk fitting, and people confuse those for grease, but whatever. Now it's I'm going to convert it all to those surface ball oiler things. I got some handles. They're scrapping a drill press at work, so I got some crank handles. This is off Kearney and Trecker horizontal mill. Kind of a neat teardrop. Almost looks like a St. Rupert's drop handle. So I had the milling machine cutters drawer open and boring bars. What I'll show you, okay, so that's the apron for the Colchester 17-inch lathe, and the apron has been apart for a while, and I made a new bushing here. I don't know if you can see how egged out those are. That one, oh boy, that's, yeah. So I think this apron originally never had bushings. It was just the shafts. This is a feed rod, would run in the cast iron, but somebody along the years has bored out and put bushings in it. That's for the lead screw. That's for the feed rod. The half nuts go here. So I've been modifying this thing and fixing it up. So I got a new bushing made for that side, a new bushing made for that side, And for the lead screw, I'll show you. The bushing is in the lathe. I'm making it as previously I stopped and I decided to record this video. But I mean, I've been making chips. There we go. Good shot. That's 954 aluminum bronze. I got a stick of it from McMaster Car. Yeah, so that's going to finish that up. And yeah. And also the mods I did, or this is, okay, this is the half nut. Again, it's truly a half nut. And it slides up in here. This guide, this bore guides the rod that's part of it. And this is an oil feed tube that it's 1/8 inch pipe thread, and I got it drilled and tapped in there aboard this outer apron wall for an oiler cup. So the oiler cup will feed the oil right into this tube and lubricate it, and oil will, you know, drip down and it'll be all nice and good. Right. So the power feed part. Okay. So there's a gear. It's not connected to the hand wheel. It's just sitting there. It had some teeth missing. That's what started this whole mess. So I ordered a brand new gear, and that gear is in here. I paid like $1,000 for that gear. I could have made a repair, brazed it in, and got a Brown and Sharp milling cutter. And that's a 5-degree helix. It's hard to see. It's not a straight cut. It's 5-degree helix. And I could have fixed it, but you know what? I spent $1,000 and I bought a new gear because it was available from Colchester, and there's a guy in Texas whose name escapes me. He has them for sale, an aftermarket replacement. So that's good. Good fit, good repair. I didn't pay but $1,000 for the machine, so I figured a $1,000 gear wouldn't be too bad. Okay, so then this is an oil system mod. This is the oil galleys. This wasn't here. I milled this in my previous videos. You'll see on the SIP jig bore machine. And what that does is it allows you to have oil cups on the side. That's 1/8 inch pipe thread, 1/8 inch pipe thread. It's like an oil well, and then it comes up and feeds. So that's part of that mod. So the power feed, it's like it clicks in there for traverse and there for cross feed. And I'll show you that. I've been working on that. So this has been a long time coming. Originally, like I said, I think this was just cast iron and somebody bored it out and put bushings in it. Because it's a weird size, nothing's to the fraction or anything, it's just random dimension. So I had to make the bushings to fit. This was cracked in here originally. There's a crack right there at the apex. That one was not cracked, but I repaired this in a previous video. I brazed it, and I put a lot of braze here. And what happened is the crack offset a little bit, and like 5 thou, and I had to rebore the hole in this cast iron piece. So now, after buying my bronze stock from McMaster Car, so this is 2/10, 3/10 press fit. This is, I mean, I could have Loctited it with a clearance fit, but I didn't want to put a lot of press fit on here at all because the hoop stress created by the excessive press fit would crack it again. Because this casting, I don't know, can you see? It's not the thickest in the world, maybe a 1/4 inch at the minimum. But anyways, so that's like 2/10 press fit. I could drive this in and out. I use the press, but what I feel with the press how hard it is to pull on the handle. And this goes in just like a medium push. It's not too much, it's not too little. So what I did is I left the bushings long. I made them like 2 inches long because it was a round number to give it extra support. There's nothing on the outside. There's nothing on the outside. There's a gear, a worm gear and a spur gear that goes in the middle here. And this rides on the feed screw, and there's another gear. And what it does is there's a handle, and it lifts up into position and meshes with a gear on the apron, either the cross feed gear or the longitudinal feed gear. So yes, in a previous video I had brazed this and set it up in the Gorton milling machine for boring. That's an older video. I just got one coat of Rust-Oleum brush painted on it. I might scuff it up and paint it again. But anyways, so I've been working on that this weekend. I've been using telescoping boring gauges. That's a Lufkin. I think that's a Brown and Sharp. I forget. But anyways, a pan vise is a great little vise for holding a micrometer. So I've been making bushings, measuring stuff, making sure everything, the press fit is just a light press fit. I could just do a slip fit and use Loctite, whatever. So that's interesting. So that's the half nut. I know I'm random. For the Colchester lathe, and it's, you know, it's half a nut. But for the Summit boring head, it's a quarter nut. So that's what advances the movable slider part of the Summit boring head. So kind of neat how things are made mechanically. I'm always learning stuff when I analyze how something's built and engineered and put together. So this is about a 20-inch head. It's like 19 3/4 or something. The original head for the Giddings and Lewis horizontal boring mill was a 17-inch head. I've come to find out. So a 17-inch head came with the machine. That's like I said, a 20-inch head, a 19 3/4. Let's call it a 20. So from 17 to 20, it's not that much bigger of a facing head, but you know, it's going to work out, I think. And like I said, I'm not going to put the gears back on. I'm going to, you know, keep them, but I'm going to use the that shaft. There's a gear here, and it goes in the hole where I got the nylon strap holding it up. That's the one I showed you earlier, and there's a bushing. Okay, so there's going to be the that Allen head for the 3/8 hex key wrench. That's going to be there. So that's going to move this, and this is kind of like a lead screw, a lead worm, I don't know, and it's going to advance the head, which is sitting on the dual bandsaw, the slider part of the head. So that's in the works. Let me go around to the front of the lathe just to show you. I say there's the offsetable part. All right. So, okay. So we're walking through the shop, and it's kind of a maze. I've been doing some surface grinding on that bronze bushing to face it off. You can surface grind bronze, aluminum bronze, really nicely. It does not even load up the wheel. It's unbelievable. So that's cool. Been doing that. Yeah. So I come around the HLVH, down this aisleway, boom, and in this narrow aisle, I've got the Tsugami lathe. There's a couple threads on Home Shop Machinist. They're talking about Tsugami turret lathe. So that's what this is, and it's got chase threading. It's just a handy lathe. No tailstock, but boy is this thing handy. Put my Vimco lamp on the wall, made in Buffalo, New York, Holland, New York, Victory in Manufacturing, Vimco. And then my OC white lamp is always right there on the Tsugami turret lathe. So, man, look at this pile of bronze chips. I mean, I've been using this thing, let's see, Saturday, Sundays today, and just making piles of chips. So I had been using, I got the 3-jaw, I was using that for a while, and this, I needed the shallow projection of these jaws because it's a smaller chuck, and I dialed it in. So for dialing it in, this overarm, you know, I got these magnetic indicators, and I just swing them down and indicate whatever I need. So this is that bushing I'm making now. This is for the lead screw, and you can see the threads worn in there. But that's what I've been up against. That's what I've been doing. Got my couple boring bars in there, all the tooling to fit most of my needs on the Sagami turret lathe. Thought I'd give you a quick overview. Until next time, this is Doozer's Shop.